the size of Chicago calved into the ocean, revealing seafloor that had never been accessible to humans.
An iceberg the size of Chicago broke away from Antarctica, and at first, it seemed like just another icy collapse in a frozen land. But beneath where that massive wall of ice once rested, something waited in total darkness. For centuries, the seafloor had been sealed away, untouched by sunlight and unseen by human eyes. When scientists finally looked below, they did not find emptiness or silence. What was hiding under the ice? And why does its discovery change everything we thought we knew about life on Earth? Join us to find out. A new world beneath the ice. The robot descended at a leisurely pace into the frigid, dark ocean. It delved deeper and deeper until it finally settled at a depth of 1,300 meters. When the cameras activated, the screens on the research vessel illuminated. The images on display rendered scientists speechless. A hush fell over the crew as they observed what was unfolding in the murky depths below. Various forms moved through the screen. Big creatures floated lazily in front of the camera. Tiny animals scurried along the rugged ocean floor. Activity abounded. Existence abounded. The pilot cautiously heightened the brightness of the lights, and all at once the entire group could perceive clearly. What they observed was a discovery that defied scientific expectations in that location. Not just a handful of living organisms, but a flourishing society. This was never meant to be. This section of the ocean floor had been isolated for many years, possibly even centuries. It was devoid of sunlight, lacked fresh nutrients from the surface, and provided no easy conditions for life to thrive. Scientists had long thought that in such harsh environments, life would be scarce and fragile. However, the pictures revealed a surprising and contrasting reality. The unveiling of this secretive realm was made possible by the emergence of a huge iceberg called A84. This event took place on January 13, 2025, when the iceberg detached from the southern tip of the George VI ice shelf in Antarctica. As it broke off, it unveiled an area of 209 square miles of seafloor that had previously been concealed under ice for an unspecified period of time. The ice was dense and unbroken, casting a shadow over the water and inhibiting photosynthesis. Nutrients were cut off from the surface ocean, creating a harsh environment with freezing temperatures and high pressure. Despite expectations of a barren landscape, life somehow thrived in this seemingly inhospitable place on Earth. However, the cameras displayed the contrary. The massive iceberg A84 was incredibly large, stretching approximately 19 miles in length and 11 miles in width. Its total area equaled around 510 square kilometers, similar in size to the city of Chicago. The precise moment of its detachment was captured by satellite images, closely monitored by scientists utilizing technology from NASA Earth Observatory. Observing from above, their satellites recorded the iceberg's journey as it floated into the ocean and gently rolled along certain sections of the Antarctic shoreline, propelled by strong coastal currents. Some researchers compared it to a potato due to its rounded appearance while floating in the ocean. Its movements were monitored from above every week. The destination of the iceberg was not as important as the impact it had on its surroundings. Underneath the location where A84 had been positioned, there lay an expansive expanse of ocean floor that had remained unexplored by mankind. Scientists happened to be in the vicinity when the iceberg separated. The RV Falker II, a research vessel managed by the Schmidt Ocean Institute, was conducting operations in the Bellingshausen Sea. The crew had not anticipated studying this newly uncovered region. Initially, their expedition was constrained due to unforeseen sea ice obstructing their planned path. However, everything took a turn when it was announced that A84 had given birth. This type of occurrence cannot be forecasted accurately. Icebergs have their own timelines. Chances like this come very seldom and do not linger. The researchers quickly grasped that this was a unique moment that may never repeat in their lifetimes.
My name is Sasha Montelli and I'm a co-chief scientist of this cruise to the Bellingshausen Sea.
Alexander Montelli, a geophysicist and glaciologist at University College London and one of the leaders of the expedition,
And I'm a lecturer at University College London. I'm a marine geologist, geophysicist, and glaciologist.
ice shelves are regarded as some of the harshest and most secluded locations on Earth. Delving below them presents a formidable obstacle. Whenever there is a slight shift or movement, it creates a rare opportunity that is seldom available. The choice to alter direction was made without delay. Scientists from various countries, including Portugal, the UK, Chile, Germany, Norway, New Zealand, and the US, joined forces with a common feeling of haste. Just under a fortnight after the Iceberg detached, on the 25th of January, the research ship reached the recently uncovered ocean floor. They were the original individuals to venture into that secretive location. In order to accomplish this task, a remotely operated underwater vehicle called Sebastian was utilized. During an 8-day period, the robot repeatedly descended into the deep, capturing photos and videos at depths exceeding 4,256 feet. With each dive, new aspects of the narrative inscribed on the ocean's bed were unveiled. The group also gathered specimens. They collected both living organisms and information about the Earth's composition. Of particular significance was a lengthy gravity core containing sediment layers, which provided a historical account of the seafloor's evolution during its icy concealment. However, it was the vibrant life around me that truly captivated my senses. Contrary to what was anticipated, the ocean floor was teeming with activity. Various organisms of different sizes inhabited the area, some floating leisurely in the water, while others clung to rock. Tiny creatures scurried away when exposed to the passing lights, while larger beings navigated the darkness with deliberate movements. This was not a weak ecosystem barely managing to survive, but rather a thriving and dynamic community. The revelation contradicted entrenched beliefs about the ability of life to thrive in harsh environments. The ice layer above was as thick as a tall skyscraper. A massive wall of ice, measuring about 150 meters, obscured all connections to the outside world. Darkness pervaded the depths, inhibiting the growth of vegetation. However, despite the harsh conditions, life managed to thrive. Through some unknown means, vital energy and resources managed to infiltrate this isolated environment, nurturing a diverse ecosystem over countless years. The researchers did not jump to hasty conclusions. Instead, they carefully observed and documented their findings. They gathered evidence and allowed the visuals to convey their message. The video footage depicted a vibrant, deep-sea ecosystem that was already thriving, not inactive or dormant. Dr. Patricia Esca, a researcher at the University of Algarve's Center for Environmental and Marine Studies, recalled the moment when they were first presented with the screens. The absence of noise wasn't due to fear, but rather a sense of wonder. It was a peaceful stillness that emerged when preconceived notions vanished and were replaced by something grander. So what was really found underneath? Stay with us. The secret beneath the Antarctic ice. What they were about to discover caught everyone by surprise. The journey continued in silence, driven by a sense of wonder and strategic organization. The group readied their most reliable explorer to be lowered into the depths, a specialized machine capable of enduring conditions beyond human limitations. This explorer, known as ROV Sebastian and owned by the Schmidt Ocean Institute, was equipped with advanced technologies such as high-quality cameras, precise measuring tools, sturdy collection arms, and sensors intended to capture the intricacies of the ocean floor. Sebastian was carefully lowered into the ocean, connected to the research vessel above by a lengthy cable that transmitted power and live video. Skilled pilots on the ship controlled its movements, navigating through extreme depths with immense pressure and total darkness. This robotic device served as the visual senses for the entire team. Sebastian spent a complete week delving into the ocean floor, going to greater depths of over 2,300 meters.
Scientists found was both stunning and surprising. proving that life exists under astonishing conditions.
Each descent felt like a journey into the unknown, distancing from familiar terrain. The anticipations were low. As per scientific knowledge, this area was predicted to be desolate. However, the initial pictures displayed on the screens conveyed a contrasting narrative. Researchers moved in closer. Monitors displayed patterns and hues that were initially incomprehensible. Suddenly, a gasp broke the silence. The ocean floor was teeming with life, not the desolate expanse they had expected. The rocks were filled with living organisms. Creatures emerged from the underwater debris. Living beings glided gracefully in the frigid ocean. Towering sponges loomed overhead, resembling ancient structures. These were not newly formed creatures. Sponges mature at a sluggish pace, often progressing only a couple of centimeters annually. The immense stature of these sponges indicated they had been thriving for numerous years, possibly even centuries. That on its own was quite surprising. For an indeterminate period, the ice above had covered and isolated this location. The thick ice prevented any sunlight from entering. This lack of sunlight inhibited photosynthesis from occurring. As a result, the typical food chain was unable to start. Scientists had reason to believe that life in such conditions would struggle to thrive. However, there existed a flourishing society in this place. Coral forests bloomed gracefully underwater, displaying fragile yet resilient structures. The brittle stars navigated sponge-covered grounds, stretching their arms in search of a path. Clusters of anemones huddled, embracing the gentle flow with their supple forms. Hydroids swayed alone in the deep, their delicate tentacles dancing silently in the dim surroundings. Motion was present in every direction the cameras pointed. Soon, the bigger animals emerged in sight. Octopuses peacefully lounged on the ocean floor, camouflaging with the rocks below. Icefish glided gracefully in the dimly lit waters, well-equipped to thrive in the frigid environment. These fish contained specialized proteins in their blood that acted as antifreeze, enabling them to endure conditions that would be fatal to most other beings. Enormous sea spiders leisurely navigated the stones, their elongated legs extending far apart, some reaching the size of large dinner plates. Crabs and amphipods scuttled across the seabed. Krill swarmed around the lights of the ROV, attracted to the sudden illumination amidst the never-ending darkness. The mystery became more complex with each new observation. This environment was thriving, not facing difficulties. The researchers came to realize that they were observing a society that had remained steady for an extended period. The magnitude of the creatures, the intricacy of their relationships, and how they occupied all available areas indicated a profound and long-standing equilibrium. It was not an existence that had hastily appeared following the movement of ice. It was an existence that had already existed, persistently thriving beneath its icy cover. Dr. Patricia Escate, who is an expedition scientist, was involved in the decision to alter the mission and discover the unique opening beneath the ice. As more images came in, the significance of their decision became evident. The sight before them exceeded all expectations. The scene's beauty was undeniable, and the ecosystem's tranquil strength reflected resilience and the passage of time. The corals and sponges provided a refuge for various creatures, functioning as habitats. Icefish navigated through them. Sea spiders crawled over their exteriors. Octopuses lounged close by, remaining motionless. The ocean bottom seemed more akin to a tranquil metropolis than an empty expanse, with each organism fulfilling its designated function. Everyone was brought to a complete halt by the moment that followed. The cameras were able to record a massive phantom jellyfish. The bell of the creature was over a meter wide and had an umbrella shape. It had 4 long, ribbon-like oral arms extending over 10 meters, moving elegantly through the water like flowing silk. This living form, spanning over 33 feet, drifted gracefully in a hidden place untouched by the outside world for centuries. The scene was like something out of a dream. The team observed the creature moving calmly, seemingly oblivious to the impossibility of its existence. With its long arms trailing behind it, it passed through the frame and vanished into the darkness. Time appeared to stand still for a brief moment. The scientists were compelled to reconsider their beliefs due to this breakthrough. Deep ocean environments typically rely on nutrients that sink down from the surface. The creatures below are sustained by dead plankton, sinking organic matter, and the slow descent of life from sunlit waters. However, this particular location was buried under a thick layer of solid ice, preventing sunlight from penetrating and surface nutrients from reaching the depths. The typical laws of the ecosystem did not hold true in this unique setting. Life has managed to find a different approach despite the circumstances. What mechanisms are at play that allow deep-sea creatures to thrive in such a harsh environment? Let's find out. Life without light. While analyzing their discovery further, the scientists developed a meticulous hypothesis. They began to speculate that the movement of food beneath the ice shelf was being facilitated by ocean currents. These currents were not rapid and turbulent like those found on land, but rather gentle and concealed submarine streams that meandered in the depths of the dark waters, oscillating towards and away from the specific region in Antarctica. Water was constantly moving underneath the layer of ice. The George VI ice shelf may have been impacted by the melting glacial water. When the ice melted, it probably released organic material into the water. Small particles, tiny organisms, nutrients, and chemicals may have been present under the ice. These unseen elements could have been nourishing life beneath the surface for an extended period of time. The calm movement of nutrients provided an explanation for the thriving ecosystem in a location that was completely devoid of sunlight. Laura Simile, a scientist on the expedition with the University of Cambridge, played a role in clarifying this concept. The existence of species with long lifespans indicated that nutrients were not descending from the surface, a common occurrence in many oceans, but rather traveling horizontally through the darkness. This horizontal movement, primarily of glacial meltwater from the George VI ice shelf, could be the origin of the sustenance that supported the flourishing life beneath the ice. However, this reasoning did not diminish the significance of the finding. It greatly increased its strength. From a scientific perspective, these beings had undergone unique evolution, resulting in unprecedented characteristics. Their methods of survival diverged from any previously observed in nature by humans. These organisms did not rely on sunlight or engage in photosynthesis like other species. Rather, they obtained sustenance from nutrients traveling slowly through the depths of obscure waters, originating from distant locations. These creatures were flourishing in never-ending darkness. Without any connection to the world above, they were flourishing, multiplying, and creating intricate societies. This defied a fundamental principle of life on Earth. The majority of ecosystems rely on sunlight as the foundation of their food pyramid. However, this was not the case here. Another impactful realization followed shortly after. In a mere week of surveying, the group recorded 23 different large animal species. These were the prominent creatures captured on film. However, this count did not encompass all the animals present, as the cameras had limitations in what they could detect. Microbial communities were discovered in the sediments, consisting of small life forms inhabiting the spaces between sand and mud particles. Additionally, minuscule organisms were observed attaching themselves to the exteriors of sponges and corals. This intricate ecosystem created a hidden world within the larger environment, often unseen, yet significantly impactful. There is a possibility that some of these organisms are undiscovered by scientists and could be new species. The scientists concluded that the communities had been established for a long period of time, possibly spanning decades or even centuries, based on the size and age of the animals present. This indicated that the ecosystem had existed for a significant amount of time and was not recently formed, nor was it temporary. Instead, it had remained stable and thriving for an extended period. In laboratories, researchers initiated a thorough analysis of the samples retrieved from the ocean floor. It could potentially consume a substantial amount of time to thoroughly investigate and document these specimens. A specific isopod, a small crustacean retrieved from the seabed, captured the interest of the scientists. Dr. Patricia Esky personally scrutinized this minuscule organism. It is plausible that this tiny creature is unique to this planet. The concept was thrilling, yet also very grounding. The team was reminded of the limited knowledge humans have about the deep ocean. The researchers also started considering the concept of evolution. Antarctica has been separated from the rest of the world for millions of years due to the strong Antarctic circumpolar current. This huge ocean current encircles the continent, acting as a barrier that restricts the migration of species in and out of Antarctica. Due to the seclusion they experience, species residing beneath the ice shelves of Antarctica.
Iceberg is getting smaller. Scientists say the massive ice block near Antarctica is breaking apart.
Have become disconnected not just from surface ecosystems, but also from a significant portion of the world's oceans. They developed in a world of quiet, darkness, and frigidity, molded by circumstances that are distinct from those found in any other part of the planet. Solitude played a role in shaping organisms that thrived in their secluded environment. A third realization suddenly shifted the entire perspective of understanding towards this groundbreaking discovery. Scientists, who had long suspected but never confirmed with certainty, were finally able to prove their theory with the discovery of this ecosystem. It demonstrated that life can thrive without the need for sunlight, as energy is the key requirement. Whether this energy is obtained through chemical processes, nutrients in ocean currents, or activity below the seafloor, photosynthesis is no longer considered a necessity, but rather an option for survival. For years, theories about the existence of extraterrestrial life had been debated. Finally, tangible proof emerged. Underneath ice that had been around for centuries, there existed a complex ecosystem thriving in the deep, dark waters devoid of sunlight. This served as evidence that life has the capability to adapt in ways that were previously underestimated. When ice worlds feel alive, the implications of this finding extend well beyond Earth, transcending the boundaries of our planet and venturing into the vast emptiness of the cosmos. Europa, a moon of Jupiter that has long fascinated scientists, now seems more within reach than ever before. Europa is enveloped in ice that can reach depths of up to 100 kilometers. Scientists hypothesize the presence of a vast ocean beneath the icy surface, sustained by the continuous tidal heating generated by Jupiter's gravitational pull. The possibility of life thriving in this undiscovered ocean has intrigued researchers for decades. But there was always one question blocking the path. In an ocean buried beneath layers of ice, can life flourish in the absence of sunlight? The question had long been a source of skepticism. Sunlight was traditionally thought to be crucial for sustaining life, with many believing that intricate ecosystems could not thrive without it. However, a surprising revelation has emerged beneath the icy depths of Antarctica, revealing an unexpected answer.
Huge iceberg, nearly the size of Greater London, broke off near a research station in Antarctica.
1,130 meters below the surface. If an abundant ecosystem can survive deep under 150 meters of Antarctic ice for many years, sustained solely by nutrients transported by ocean currents, then the frozen ocean of Europa seems less implausible. It starts to seem credible. It transforms from a mere hypothesis into a real possibility. The way in which life outside of Earth is being investigated will be modified as a result of this finding. Each model grows larger, and every boundary changes. Out of the blue, the icy moons throughout the solar system appear to have a new vibe. Europa is no longer the only one pondering this idea. Now, Enceladus and Ganymede are also being taken into consideration. These icy planets, previously viewed as remote and quiet, could potentially have hidden oceans beneath their icy surfaces. and those oceans might not be devoid of life. It is possible that they are still living. Ecosystems may have thrived in darkness for billions of years, hidden from view but stable and flourishing. The temperature never changing, night constantly present. Nutrients slowly delivered by ocean currents under the thick ice, providing a peaceful and harmonious life untouched by the chaos above ground. This concept evokes feelings of amazement and melancholy when considered back on our home planet, Earth. The ecosystem beneath the Antarctic ice shelf has existed in constant conditions for a long time, possibly for thousands of years. There was no rapid change or disruption in its natural rhythm until recently. With the disappearance of the ice, sunlight is penetrating the sea floor after centuries. Water temperatures and ocean currents are undergoing shifts due to the movement of the massive iceberg. The environment that supported this ecosystem is changing rapidly before our eyes. The research team recognized the importance of acting promptly. They swiftly gathered sediment cores, water samples, and biological specimens. With diligence and concentration, they were aware that time was of the essence. Their objective was to investigate the transition of an ecosystem from ice-covered to ice-free conditions. When the ice vanishes, the system might never be the same again. This instant also illuminates a broader trend. The process of climate change is accelerating these incidents throughout Antarctica. Ice loss on the Antarctic Peninsula is increasing and has been occurring for a number of years now. With the global temperature on the rise, ice shelves are collapsing more frequently. Massive icebergs break off and move away. Each occurrence reveals previously sealed ecosystems to the open ocean environment after thousands of years. The melting ice is not confined to one area. Instead, it adds to the global sea level increase. Sasha Montelli, co-director of the expedition and a researcher from University College London, highlighted the significance of this research. By examining these transformations, researchers gain a historical perspective that aids in interpreting current events and predicting future occurrences. These findings enhance predictive models and influence the development of practical policies. This revelation brings with it both a sense of wonder and an obligation. But how close were these scientists from missing this natural masterpiece? Let's dive in. The perfect moment. The revelation about timing that scientists eventually grasped was both exquisite and disturbing. It almost slipped through humanity's grasp, these secretive ecosystems remaining undiscovered. This wasn't a result of meticulous planning, but rather a fortuitous convergence of timing, bravery, and a readiness to embrace the unknown and alter path. In the past, back in the year 2021, scientists from the British Antarctic Survey conducted a drilling expedition through the dense ice of the Filchner-Ronne ice shelf. Their objective was straightforward, yet ambitious, to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the surface. After breaking through the ice with their drill, they made a surprising discovery. They stumbled upon traces of life, with tiny creatures living on the seabed attached to a solitary boulder. It provided a strong indication. However, the limited view provided by the drill hole prevented a comprehensive understanding. The focus was solely on what was directly beneath it, without the ability to explore beyond. It was impossible to shift perspective or examine broader surroundings to determine if the observed life was unique or part of a larger ecosystem. That query went without a response. The expedition aboard the research vessel Falkor 2 brought about a major transformation. This particular mission marked a significant milestone, as it was the inaugural use of a remotely operated underwater vehicle to investigate vast areas of seafloor below a recently separated ice shelf. This occasion allowed scientists to venture freely across the ocean floor, capturing extensive footage of the surroundings rather than observing through a limited viewpoint. This marked the inaugural genuine study. Scientists have, for the first time, taken high-definition photos of a complete ecosystem that was previously concealed beneath the ice. Their understanding of the ecosystem was greatly enhanced by this visual confirmation. Witnessing the precise moment when Iceberg A84 detached from the ice shelf presented a unique and unexpected scientific opportunity. According to the executive director of the Schmidt Ocean Institute, these spontaneous events are what make oceanic research so fascinating. They are unpredictable and require quick action from scientists. This particular instance was one to remember. Consider the probabilities. A group of researchers from different countries was conducting research in a very isolated location. Out of nowhere, a huge iceberg, comparable in size to Chicago, separated from the ice shelf. This unexpected event caused the team to completely alter their original expedition strategy in a matter of days. They managed to arrive at the location only 12 days after the iceberg broke away. Using a remotely controlled underwater vehicle that can film at depths of 1,300 meters, they explored the area. Each element needed to come together perfectly. If a component had malfunctioned, the ecosystem could have stayed unnoticed for eternity. Icebergs move aimlessly. Frozen platforms crumble and transform. The opportunity for investigation can swiftly vanish. On this occasion, all factors fell into place. Fortune had a hand in it. The researchers openly acknowledged that fact. However, bravery also played a crucial role. Opting to venture into unfamiliar territory, despite the unpredictable results, held significance. This decision ultimately proved pivotal. Another significant revelation surfaced as the journey progressed, not captured by the cameras, but found on the ocean floor. The researchers gathered lengthy gravity cores, which were samples extracted by drilling into the sediment, showcasing layers arranged one on top of the other, akin to the pages of a book. Every level had its own tale to share. Certain layers indicated colder eras, while others documented periods of increased warmth. Cumulatively, they comprised a historical sequence going back millennia. Currently, these samples of sediment are undergoing meticulous examination in research facilities. They contain valuable information regarding the emergence of this ecosystem, its endurance beneath the ice, and its reaction to environmental shifts long preceding human observation. The information from the data will uncover the changes in ocean currents throughout history. It will demonstrate the fluctuations in the size of the ice shelf above during previous periods of warming and cooling. This will aid researchers in comprehending the true stability of this concealed world and its potential responsiveness to alterations. The recently revealed seabed in Antarctica provided researchers with a valuable resource for exploring the historical movements of the Antarctic ice sheet. By examining how ice shelves reacted to previous climate changes, scientists are better equipped to forecast their response to potential future warming. That information holds significant importance not just in Antarctica. It is now evident that a significant discovery has been made. On the 25th of January in the year 2025, researchers sent ROV Sebastian below Iceberg A84 and found a flourishing ecosystem that had been hidden under 500 feet of ice for many years. The underwater robot captured footage of massive sponges, coral forests, resting octopuses, dark-swimming ice fish, rock-crawling sea spiders, and a massive phantom jellyfish with tentacles that were 33 feet long. Everything was filled with life. It all thrived in the absence of sunlight. The finding demonstrated that something previously believed to be unattainable is actually possible. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.